UseItBetter automatically tracks every visitor interaction with the website. This tutorial explains how you can measure interactions with specific UI elements in different states while browsing your website in the preview mode. If you log into the UseItBetter Analytics panel and click the Preview Mode link in the top right corner, you will land on your website. The console at the bottom of the page will show you what events are being tracked every time you interact with the website. For example, if you click Women in the top navigation, a related click event will show up in the console. Filter the log to show clicks only to find that event. These events are automatically formed based on an HTML structure of a website. Let's take a look at the syntax of those events. On the right, click means a user that clicked an element. The part on the left is a reference to the element that was clicked. A means that the clicked element was a link tag. The slash character means that the link tag is inside another element, in this case a list item with an li tag name. The list element has an ID main women and informs us explicitly which link in the navigation was clicked. We could also get that information based on the element's index, which is wrapped with square brackets. Number 2 means that the clicked link is inside the second element in the navigation menu. The first link is men, the second is women, the third is footwear, and so on. The main women list item has a CSS class name named active. The developers of this website used that class to change the look of the navigation link when a user is on a page belonging to that category. If we would go back to a page that doesn't belong to the women category, the event tracked upon a click in the same link wouldn't contain the active class name. Class names are often used to describe a state of an element, which is very important because the element in each of its states not only looks different, but also may have a different function. If we would click the Women link again, the click would now result in closing of the navigation. Fortunately, the class names allow us to differentiate between those different functions. In this case, the class Open indicates that a user clicked the link when the drop-down menu was opened. So let's finally see how many times users expanded the Women navigation. First, click the corresponding event in the log to select it. Now you have an option to see the stats for that event. We can see that there were 48 clicks in total. The first click happened on September 8th last year, the last on July 6th this year. This data is only for the clicks in the link without any classes. Therefore, the clicks in the active link on the pages in the Women category are not included. Let's go back to the Women page. Again, click on the Women link. Select the event from the log and check the stats. Now we can see that there were 10 times more clicks in the Women link from pages belonging to the Women category than from all the other pages. So far, we have been measuring clicks on a specific element in a specific state. We can also get data about a group of elements that have common tags, IDs, or class names. Hover over the dot before the active class name. A click on the highlighted part of the event will replace it with a wildcard. Once you do this, the data will show you count of click events in the Women's link regardless of the classes it had. Notice the orange Women label. It indicates that the element with classes Active and Open is currently present on the page. If you close the drop-down menu, the label will be displayed next to a different element. What we can learn from this data is that the ratio of closing to opening the drop-down menu is very high. The Women navigation was opened 456 times on pages within the Women category and closed 150 times. This means that in 1/3 of the cases, users closed the drop-down menu instead of clicking on a link in that menu. Even a worse ratio can be observed for clicks that happened on pages that don't belong to the women category. This is a strong signal that the drop-down menu or its content should be optimized. Let's try one more thing. Hover over the slash to highlight the entire part related to the link tag. Click to replace it with a wildcard. You can now see that there are two labels referring to two different elements present on the page. If you hover over the second label, you will notice that the border shows up around the list element itself and not the women link inside it. If we try to click outside the women text, nothing will happen. The drop-down menu won't open. So we have learned that 6% of clicks had no effect. If you suspect that users may be clicking any non-clickable elements, there's a simple way to find that out. Just press the Shift key and point your cursor over an element to select it. For example, the women's fashion headline. Hit the Stats button and you will see that there were 85 clicks in the headline. That's it. Just continue browsing your website in preview mode and measure how other people were using it.